This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's 7:07. Big day. Here's Finchy on the matchup with Golden State.
It's obviously a tough matchup. I mean, it's a championship pedigree team. You know, they're similar to us. They played their best basketball down the stretch and into the playoffs. You know, they're coming off of a really, really tough series. No doubt about it, but it showed what they're made of in that series.
That's right. We know who they are. Now let's take them out.
Yes, sir.
That's right. There's Maxo and Marnzo over there, our T-Wolves experts, and pretenders Corey and Sauce, who are Fairweather fans.
That is correct.
Fairweather since 1989.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Big night, Marns. We can do
Tonight?
this.
Heck yeah.
We can do this. We're favored for a reason.
That's right.
By 7 points.
Ooh-wee. And favored to win the series, right? First time in the Steve Kerr era, the Warriors are series underdogs.
That's right.
Really? So that means they were even favored in their last series against Houston.
They were.
As the 7 seed.
They
That is
were.
crazy. Man. We're pretty excited to see some basketball tonight. It's been almost a week. Last Wednesday is the last time the Wolves
Are we
played.
worried about that, Marnie?
No. I'm not.
Okay,
but
good.
I do think that it is realistic to think the Wolves might not come out firing on all cylinders. It might take a quarter, which is perfectly fine to expect. But if it lingers into the end of the game and the Wolves don't win the game because they were rusty, that would shock me.
Okay.
I think they're the better rested team, the healthier team, the younger, sprier, deeper, better, all of that team. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that we should expect them to just come flying out of the gates into perfection. Maybe they will.
So is the story I read yesterday on Twitter? Because again, you don't know. I don't even know where I saw this. Is that he's going to wear a thumb brace that Steph Curry is? Because
I don't know.
He's the greatest shooter in the history of basketball, but a thumb brace is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's not easy. And it sounds like Gary Payton still might be sick. So he is likely not playing. Is that accurate still? Or has that been updated? Who knows?
Let me look, Steve.
Gary Payton.
Junior. Yep, the second.
Really?
The same one, yeah. Gary Payton's kid. But
Ain't that something? The glove.
Little glove. But if Payton's sick,
Yeah,
Curry's got a thumb brace. I don't know. Is Butler 100% or is he still banged up a little bit?
He's got the pelvis hip thing.
Yep.
Glute thing, sorry.
Yep. I mean, they're banged up.
Peyton is day-to-day. He's questionable.
Let's hope he's still sick.
There's nobody else on the injury report on ESPN's website.
If you watched any of specifically that Game 7, which I watched, I saw probably most of the second half of Warriors Rockets, you understand why anyone might be injured on either side. That game, like any playoff game, and especially when you get to Game 7, super physical, emotional, draining, all of that. It was exactly what any opponent who's waiting for the next team, exactly what you would want. Yeah. I was also just looking at some just tidbits of information and, trying to brush up on this series. And Draymond Green got 4 techs in that first series against Houston. And you only get 6 in the playoffs. It doesn't reset. It resets at the start of the playoffs. Now the clock is ticking. So you get 6. But if you pick up a 7th, it's a 1-game suspension.
He's going to do something stupid to Rudy.
Yeah,
I
bet the coaches 50 times have tried to already tell Rudy, do not take the bait. Don't take the bait. He's just going to troll. He's going to try to irritate you. You can't swing back because that's what he wants. He's trying to get under your skin. I don't know how they mentally get Rudy ready to deal with that because Draymond's going to be annoying as hell starting tonight.
Yep.
intentionally to Rudy, right? Specifically to Rudy.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah.
What if they just fight? True fists.
I hope they do.
Round one.
I don't like Rudy's chances, though. I think Draymond would kill him. I really do.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
It wasn't a straight slugfest, but we saw something close to that last year in San Francisco.
So they were kissing and stuff?
No,
That
your
was
your mic's on.
Yeah.
It was a little shovey brawl. Maybe not punchy, but
Chokey.
it was choky. Yeah, it was Jersey Terry.
Keep talking about it.
Oh, you're into it.
That's one of those side stories though that you as fans were kind of like, well, this is gonna be so fun to watch, so interesting. But then at the same time, you're like, don't let our guy get into it.
No.
Right.
Our guy's got to be strong. But look at Rudy; he's zen, man. He spent time in dark caves for 2 days. The Aaron Rodgers retreat thing. He's a meditating, calm presence.
They
Let's hope it stays that way.
They have to continue to take the fight to the other team. They can't let the other team dictate. That's why they crush the Lakers, man. They got to bring the fight to the Warriors, and they can win the series in 5.
You got it all figured out.
It does feel like Wolves in 5 is a very logical prediction.
You got
right now.
I mean,
But again, Steph has never lost a series in less than 6, which is a pretty cool stat.
Well, Steph's never been 30.
Love
is he
it.
4?
Love it.
5?
We need so much more out of our bench, though, right? Because Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo, Nas.
37. And 38.
Three-point
just
shooting
turned
Marns in
37.
round 1, not
Yeah, yeah.
good, right? Obviously, we just talked about how Boston missed 45 threes last night. The Wolves missed 40 in that game against the Lakers.
Incredible.
But Dante shot 19% from 3. Nikhil shot 21% from 3. Like, that ain't going to work against Steph.
But those numbers actually give me great hope.
Exactly.
Because everything
It's gonna get
reverts
better.
to the mean. And we had an entire season to look at. And if you want to look at their entire careers, then that's the number you look at and say, okay, first round, didn't shoot it well. That means we about to splash in the second round.
Those are the kind of numbers that you would expect in a losing series, though, right? That's why it was awesome. You won 4 out of 5 despite that, right?
Sure.
And even, who's the other one that struggled? Was it Conley?
Nas didn't have a great series. He had one really good game.
Dante, Nikhil, Nas. I mean, all of them were kind of were all struggling offensively.
did you say Trevor Garnett?
Boy, you got ear problems.
Yeah.
That's the least of his
Conley
worries.
didn't have
You
a
have penis
great series.
problems.
Is that who you're thinking of?
Probably. Either way,
But he
we're
did
winning
hit it.
tonight. We're winning this
Yeah,
series.
they're
Yeah,
winning
we-
the series.
That should give everyone great hope that there were several players who didn't have a great series, and we just eliminated a team 4-1.
And let's go even higher up the ladder. Ant had one dominant game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He was solid the rest of the series, almost no turnovers, right? Super efficient, but only really dominated one. Like true playoff Ant in that game that he had, 43 or something like that?
Yeah, 43. Yeah.
Otherwise, bunch of consistent, solid games, but in the clincher, he didn't do much. Paul, your hands up.
Is this a preposterous statement to say that this is a better team than last year?
The Wolves?
Yeah.
It's a deeper team. I think the ceiling is still the same. I think it's a champ. This is a championship potential team, but yeah, I think there's a deeper team, and it's not in the sense that the weight of the offense isn't just on 2 people or 3 people like it was last year with Anthony Edwards, Cat, and to a lesser extent Nas Reed. Like
His cat?
guys like his cat and his dog, DAWG. And so I think anybody could go up. Dante could have a 30-point game if he wanted to. Nikhil Alexander-Walker could get you 20. Jaden McDaniels has been obviously awakened offensively. So I feel like there's a lot more variation in terms of like where the offense is coming from. And the defense is still the same. Stout defense.
The defense is not as good, I think, is a fair statement to say, because last year's defense was unbelievable and incredible, but it had to be because that's where the talent of the team was. But Sauce, I don't think it's preposterous at all to say this year's team is better. It's really hard to measure because it wasn't as good of a regular season. That's totally
good
fair.
point.
But it didn't mesh in the regular season. It didn't mesh until towards the end. And Anthony Edwards didn't quite take the leap forward that you would have hoped in year 5 until late in the season. And he and Julius Randle both became these wonderful playmakers where you're like, okay, this team now looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to crap on him because I'm not done with him. I'm just saying it just didn't work out this year. We got almost nothing and are getting nothing, of course, out of Rob Dillingham, right? That was supposed to be our offensive spark off the bench to add depth at the point guard position with Conley getting a year older. And he had his moments during the regular season, but obviously not a part of the rotation. And I think he's banged up now anyway. But we could have been even deeper if Dillingham was 100% ready to play at the NBA level,
that's a
too.
great point.
That almost, I hear you, Corey, but it almost causes more headaches as you get, if you have a really good playoff team, because everybody shortens a bench. And the rule of thumb is you play 8 and trust 7. That's sort of what NBA coaches say. But it doesn't mean it's a bad problem to have when you have too many good guys. It just sometimes can create a little more tension and stress. I mean, we hardly saw Jalen Clark. We hardly saw Terrence Shannon Jr. And both of those guys are very capable of being rotation players. But when you get into the playoffs, and in particular, when you get past a first round of a playoff, it just gets real short, real fast.
Go Wolves.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Wolves in 3.
Go.
If that were possible, that'd be great.
What if the Warriors just forfeit and quit? Man. Jimmy Butler's capable of saying, I'm not playing anymore. I quit.
Right. Yeah, he is.
Hang on. Again, man, this is like the third time I've said this. Did you see? I have this. This sounds very believable, even though there's no way to prove this. Somebody on Twitter yesterday said that there was a Wolves staffer. God, I wish I should have screenshot this tweet so I can remember it. Somebody said a Wolves staffer, when Butler got traded here, God, I hope I'm not getting trolled, that Jimmy, before he even played one game for the Wolves, wanted out of here because something like, there aren't enough beautiful women and the clubs are trash. I hope that's true. It might have just been a tweet that somebody was trolling to try to get something going.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's true, that there aren't enough beautiful women in Minnesota and the clubs are trash, so I want out of here as quickly as possible.
I do know for a fact that when they had their big New Year's Eve party with all their, season ticket holders, he made the limo guys sit out front of the party and people had to come to him because he didn't want to get out of the cold car.
It's amazing.
I'm not kidding. That's 100% a true story. He sucks. I hope they sweep them. Yeah, he sucks.
He has not played at Target Center since, I believe, 21.
Yeah, it was the night before Thanksgiving. He played that game for the Heat when Anthony Edwards had maybe the greatest dunk of all time called back on an offensive foul. That's the last time he's played in
He's going to get booed like crazy.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Level,
yeah.
man.
He has been in street clothes on the bench, so actually visible to the fans. And one of the last times he was here, they chanted his name, and he stood up at a timeout and pretended to tip the cap or whatever. And it was actually a good spirited interaction. It was kind of we're lightly making fun of you, and he was like, I know, and you guys are funny.
Right.
But other than that, sometimes we don't see him. Sometimes he doesn't make the trip.
Good luck.
He gonna be in uniform tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, speaking of good luck, the St. Paul Saints return home to begin a 6-game series against the Buffalo Bisons. CHS Field tonight. Saints are in 4th place and are 15-14. David Festa takes the mound for St. Paul tonight. Get on down to CHS Field, saintsbaseball.com. That was the news.
All right, Saw Sports next, fan.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hey, good morning, everybody. And here's the thing. Good morning to all you teachers out there.
Yeah.
That's right. It is National Teacher Day, Zacho, and I know you got something you want to say, and then I want to give you some facts after that. Go ahead.
Game 1 of the second round tips off tonight. And what better way to watch it than with Carboni's Pizza? Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza. And get ready for the Minnesota playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com. And playing catch-up here, the ultimate day of heavy metal is coming to Somerset Amphitheater. Summer Loud 2025, July 11th. Performances by Parkway Drive, I Prevail, Beartooth, and more. Full details at KFAN.com. Gear calendar. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Goodness.
For all you teachers driving in, you're probably already at work now that I think about it, but the average age of teachers is 42 years old. 2.7 million teachers in the U.S. have a master's degree. Teachers work an average of 52 hours per week. 94% of teachers in the U.S. spend their own money on school supplies.
Who are the other 6%?
Probably like private school teachers.
Or as Sauce would have said, who are the other 9%?
I would have said that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not smart.
76% of teachers in the U.S. report high levels of stress.
Yep.
81% of teachers report being emotionally drained at the end of each day, and 50% of new teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years.
Wow.
Those of you
Yikes.
who do not,
Man.
well done, and thank you for taking care of our kiddos and doing the hard job for very little money.
Chris, out of Alex and Abby, how many times did you have a teacher that you were like, this is just not a good teacher?
Maybe twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very often.
With Bailey, we only had one. We had one where like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
One. That's pretty good, though. You know, like in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You get a couple of dozen teachers if you count once you get to middle school and high school, and you're doing, 3-4 a semester, maybe more, depending on how many classes you have.
Mm-hmm.
Having one or so in the entire run is not that bad.
Not at all.
Yeah,
No.
man.
The average age of retirement for a teacher is 59. Average tenure of a teacher in the U.S. is 14 years. Man, that's a tough job. That's a tough job.
Tough job.
Yeah, man.
It's
hard.
a tough job, and it's an important
That's
job.
the thing. And
Yeah.
it seems like we don't get that all the time, you know? It's like, sometimes it's hard to deal with your kids, right? Imagine with dealing with everybody's kids,
Right.
right?
And there's been a shift since, like, when we were kids, you were kind of scared of, I don't know if it's disappointment or, like, say when you had school conferences.
Yeah.
You were just like nervous and what are my parents going to think and what is the teacher going to say? And there's been a shift of where I feel like when we were kids, whatever the teacher said was the truth.
Yeah.
And the parents listened to every word. The teacher did the talking. And that was that. And hopefully it was all good. And now it's like parents doing the talking to the teacher, and not everyone, but I'm just saying they put up with a lot more than they used to have to in sort of behaviors and like parents siding with the kid as opposed to just listening to the teacher and being like, okay, well, we'll work on that.
Yep.
Yeah, good point.
Job has gotten more difficult.
Yeah.
The burden of proof has definitely flipped, right?
For sure, yeah. Teachers work more than 400 hours of overtime every year.
Man.
On average, a teacher affects more than 3,000 lives during their career.
Think about that.
I know.
Incredible.
I know. And the tree of those kids and how they can affect, so think about it.
I can distinctly remember my last day of second grade.
Because that's the last year I went to school, right?
You were about 15?
I don't know why, but when I think of, teachers and memories, and my favorite teacher was my second grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Spain. It was at Bel Air Elementary in Minot, which is not a private school and not a snobby school. It just happened to be named Bel Air. It was a public elementary school.
Paul, your hands up.
Mrs. Spain Woodhawk.
I love teachers.
Oh, not my beautiful beloved.
You know what? Then you want her to have what she wants.
She actually is not with us anymore. So,
Yeah.
Paul, put your hand down.
no. So, rest in peace, Mrs. Spain. But my point is,
Rest in peace.
I remember the final day of second grade, and I don't know why I remember this, but we all lined up as we exited the classroom at the end of the day, and she hugged every one of us or high-fived, like whatever you're comfortable with. And I was near the back of the line, and I had the biggest lump in my throat because I felt like I'm going to miss her so much. Yeah. I still remember that in second grade, how much I loved this woman because she was a great teacher and she made me love school. And I waited in that line. I got up there. I gave her the biggest hug and I started sobbing. I was so embarrassed, but it was 100% true. So there you go. God love you, teachers. Thank you.
Absolutely. Think of that. Amen. That's great. Yep. Every one of those, sometimes every one of those kids that get that hug, that might be the only hug they get that day.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yep.
Teachers do the impossible. They made Sauce read a book.
Yep.
Well, they like to believe they did. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't want to know the truth.
Yeah. I'm not doing that.
Anyway.
Hey, it got me here.
It did.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, man, butterfly effect.
That's right.
You not reading that book start to finish got you here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because without teachers, you would have thought you could eat butterflies.
Again.
Sauce. Stop. Yeah, your teacher called you Sauce.
That'd be great.
Sauce. Stop eating butterflies. Stop it.
Thanks, Crackhead Bob.
That was Baba Booey more than Crackhead Bob.
Baba Booey.
All right, Sauce, let's do some sports.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
Damn right.
The Minnesota Twins battle the Orioles today at 6:40 at Target Field. What a lovely night to go inside for basketball. The Twins have won 2 straight. The Orioles are 13-20. Pablo Lopez goes for your Twins tonight.
Let's go.
Sato Numsky.
Hasn't he been out with an injury?
Yeah.
This is his first start back?
Yeah. Second, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Second start back. We talked about the Wolves. We'll get to those at the end. New York beat the Celtics 108-105 in OT. The Knicks overcame a 20-point deficit to force overtime and win the first game of the series. Game 2 is tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Go Knicks. I hate Boston.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is
outstanding.
Man.
Such a good
He's
basketball
so good.
player.
One of the most clutch players I've ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
Like it's unbelievable.
He's my favorite.
All your hands up.
Does he know what team he played for before he went to New York?
Do you think he does?
Zero chance.
No, of course not. Do you?
Oh, damn it.
Okay.
Just for fun, go for it. Who did he play for before the Knicks?
Who?
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, he played for the Boston Celtics.
No.
Timberwolves?
No.
Pacers?
No.
Oilers?
No.
Well, who?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, who cares? Listen, I don't like that guy. He ain't no good.
Denver beat the Thunder 121-119.
Right.
Joker had 42, 22 boards and 6 times. They
42, 22, 6?
won only if she's 5'3".
What's he going to do with all those boards?
I don't know. But
Great comeback.
He's going to build something.
Aaron Gordon hit a 3-pointer to win after Chet Holmgren missed 2 straight free throws. Game
What
2
is
is tomorrow at 8:30.
never shot.
Game 2 is tomorrow at 8:30.
These playoffs have been crazy. And we've already had upsets in the first round. Road teams are winning. Underdog teams are winning.
Yeah, look out if you're the Wolves tonight, because so far in round 2, all 3 road teams won game 1.
It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, better straighten up.
It ain't going to happen tonight.
Tonight.
How about the Wolves have played a total of 5 games, obviously, because they beat the Lakers 4-1. Golden State, because they had a play-in game and then went 7. They've already played 8 games in the postseason. Their last game coming Sunday night. They flew from Houston here.
And Jimmy was immediately disappointed with the quality of women in nightclubs.
He said he might play the game or he might just sit outside in his limo and have the game come to him.
It's too cold. It's like 80 degrees. It's freezing out there.
It's lovely out. This might be the best stretch of weather we're ever going to have.
In life, period?
I mean, ever. There's no clouds in the sky for like the next week.
Yeah, the
That's
dinosaurs.
badass.
It is. It's been stunning.
Yeah, it's been stunning.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going outside.
I bet those solar panels
An
are
astonishing run for the weather.
I don't know. Let me check the old app here and see if Wolf River's printing me money.
The old solar meter.
Can we get some tater skins, please?
Oh, how good would those be?
Oh, yeah, I crushed yesterday. Way to go. This is sick.
How many of those could you eat, Hawk?
What's that?
If you were alone in a room by yourself, how many tater skins could you eat? Nobody was watching you eat.
112.
My God.
What would you have on them? Are they like fully loaded bacon, sour cream,
I want
chives,
some
all that?
cheese, and I want some sour cream to dip it in, and everybody else can shut up.
That's it. Cheese and sour cream. You're a simple man.
No bacon?
Brother. No bacon, thank you. Get stuck in my teeth.
What happened to your friend Bacon?
I don't know.
Is he dead?
Kevin?
Could be.
Zacho, the Islanders won the NHL draft lottery. San Jose picks second, Chicago picks third, Utah fourth, and Nashville fifth.
Utah!
Yeah, they did it live on TV for the first time ever. They actually drew the balls on TV. And the Islanders, it's probably a good thing because there was no calls for rigged to the NHL because the Islanders had a 3.5% chance of getting that first pick. And
it's not zero.
They nailed it. And then not only did they get the first round pick, Utah moved from 14 to 4.
Utah!
So that was a couple of very unlikely scenarios. Utah. But as Corey says every time, that those can happen.
It's not zero.
And so, yeah, it was actually about as entertaining with draft lotteries I've ever seen. Because you know what? You never get to see the balls. And this year you got to see the balls. It was great.
You could never see them enough.
No.
So after watching last night, Zachary, and the history of NBA and NHL draft lotteries, you are definitively saying you prefer to see the balls.
Of course. I mean, they always posted them on YouTube afterwards every year, but like to see them,
bouncing around,
come up the chamber live like that was sick.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, take a deep breath.
Yeah, calm down, Zach.
Yeah, calm down, Daddy-O.
Utah!
Let's see here. Zacho, the Maple Leafs beat the Panthers 5-4 to win Game 1.
Corey said it, man. Matthew Nyes, the game-winning goal, former Gopher, Arizona native, and it was just enough to hold off the Panthers, who mounted a heck of a comeback. Thought maybe we're going to see another third-period comeback, but instead they fall just short, setting up a great start to what should be a really, really good series between Florida and Toronto.
Capitals host the Hurricanes, and the Golden Knights host the Oilers tonight.
The Canes versus the Alexander Ovechkin, the Great Eight. That should be fun, and yeah, we'll see how the Golden Knights fare. It's going to be kind of sad to see them, but it'll be a good litmus test to see how maybe the Wild would have done had they got a couple of different bounces in our series.
And the Wolves open up the semifinals tonight when they battle the Warriors at 8:30. Your Wolves are 7-point favorites.
Let's go. We've been waiting. It's almost been a week, and this Wolves team is ready to go. I think it's Wolves, and gosh, I feel like it's respectful to say 6, even though my head wants to say 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
4.
Let's go.
Sweep it.
Yeah, get these bums out of here.
Sweep it.
4.
Target Center is going to be electric tonight and Thursday.
Yeah.
Man, those crowds in that first round were incredible.
It's going to be
There's
sweet.
So much energy.
Look, the beauty of it is since we've mostly sucked since 1989,
That's sad.
sucked. I'll take Wolves in 4, Wolves in 5, Wolves in 6,
Sure.
Wolves in 7.
Well said.
Shorter the better, right? Let's rest up. But if it goes 7 and we win, as long as we're moving on, who cares? Don't care.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
I hope
This team can do it, though. They're good enough. They're strong enough, and god dang it, people like them.
The roller coaster is going to be so aggressive if they don't win tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, you're
I might
going to
get
watch
sick.
all of it,
no,
right?
Not for me. Listening to you guys, it's going to make me sick.
yeah.
I'll be so sad for you guys. If
But
they don't
you'll
win
watch it.
Because today you're so confident. Tomorrow it'll be like the sky's falling, sell the team.
Yeah,
If
probably.
they lose tonight, they'll win the next 4.
Okay.
That's positivity.
I like it.
Agreed, Zach.
like that,
Yeah.
Zachy.
Okay. All
You're
right.
seeing it clearly.
Wow. Oh.
More of the Power Trip Morning Show with Marney Gellner after this on the Fan.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
KFAN and Sukup Manufacturing bring you Fan on the Farm. Starting May 19th, 9 to noon, we'll be taking your tractor talkbacks. Each day, one farmer will be chosen to receive a Sukup prize pack, including a Carhartt cooler and a Brewmate Growler canteen. Get the full details at KFAN.com/farm. Sukup Manufacturing Company, helping farmers feed and fuel the world.
2 motorcycle racers have died following a major first lap incident that involved 11 riders in a British Super Sport Championship race on Monday. MSVR, I should say, which organizes the series, confirmed the deaths of 2 riders. Another 47-year-old in the hospital with significant back and abdominal injuries. The race took place at the Oulton Circuit in Cheshire, England. They canceled the remainder of the event. These are the sport bike racing, like you might see up in Brainerd. The, as we call them, crotch rockets.
Oh, yeah.
This would be the second tier of racing. Like for NASCAR, you had, and back in my day, it was Winston Cup and then the Busch Series. This would be the Busch Series, essentially. Maxo and I just watched it. Most of these sites that have the video of it are blurring out the actual crash because it's so gruesome.
Oh,
Holy moly.
Yeah.
11 bikes involved in the crash.
Mm.
I've not even seen a crash in that kind of racing that involved the death of 1 rider, let alone 2. Crazy. Holy moly, what a terrible crash. Didn't even look like that they were at a very high speed section of the track either, did it?
No, it wasn't like a particularly tricky, and I mean, that's me just saying as a viewer, it didn't look like a particularly tricky part of the track, and it was like a nice sunny day, no weather conditions or anything like that. Yeah. But man, that was
1
brutal.
rider went down, and then a bunch of them hit him, and people were trapped under bikes. 1 bike caught on fire. Goodness sakes, man.
It's amazing that they have that many bikers in such a thin track, if that makes any sense.
For sure.
It's not a very wide track, and that, I don't know, that seemed like an accident waiting to happen. But.
For sure. Yeah, boy, you don't have much time to react, do you?
No.
Here's something else for you, and I know we got to get to Vikings news, but I really don't have any Vikings news. And a man has been charged on suspicion of crashing a vehicle through the front gate of actress Jennifer Aniston's home in Bel Air. And apparently...
Is Rosie okay?
Rosie is...
Yeah, how is he?
It doesn't say. It just apparently he did it on purpose.
Aniston was home at the time of the incident, which happened early Monday afternoon. The Los Angeles Police Department says a private security guard pulled the man in his 70s out of the vehicle and detained him at gunpoint until police officers arrived. Here's what the radio call sounded like.
He still has the suspect proned out in the driveway here.
Security still has the suspect proned out.
The suspect, who was hospitalized with injuries he suffered in the crash, is facing a felony vandalism charge. Police say he made it into the driveway, but not onto Aniston's property itself. The motive is not clear. I'm Daniel Martindale.
There's Daniel Martindale.
Big finish.
A guy in his 70s, again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Do you have audio of him?
Sure I do.
On the road again.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How do you think someone like Jennifer Aniston, who is obviously uber famous, but she's not married, she doesn't have kids, but when you're that famous and especially female, you don't want to live alone, right?
Right.
So what kind of people do you think live with her? Like
guard dogs.
Security?
Well, yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's what, obviously the guy who had the guy prone was security at the front gate. I can't imagine, though. I hear where you're coming from.
But like in her house. Like you would want somebody in your house.
Oh, for sure.
All the time.
You think so?
So
I would.
Shohei Ohtani lives there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting couple.
She's good then.
Yeah, she's all good.
Sauce, you have an idea?
Well, like my wife and I watch the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show on Hulu.
Okay.
She watches it. I sit there on my phone. But I there's parts of it that I think are great.
There are some great parts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but Khloe Kardashian is a really good person, and you can leave it at that. I'll tell you off the air why. Anyway, this doesn't.
Yeah,
make
we should
sense.
keep why she's a good person as secretive as possible.
But I don't want to get into it because I'll screw it up.
We don't want to completely tarnish her reputation by telling people how wonderful she truly is.
Well, I'll sound stupid saying it. You're already bored with my story.
Do you want me to cut this from the podcast?
100%.
No.
Don't let that out.
Yeah.
Cut that.
But like her whole family, they have like multiple security guards like that live on the property. So I'm sure Aniston does have their own room and everything in case something greasy happens. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
yes.
But in the Kardashian world,
please cut that from the podcast.
Adds an extra layer of the number of like Kim, not married but has children. Khloe, not married but has children. Yeah. And I only say not married because I mean then there's no male presence living with you in the house. And if you have multiple children, you better have multiple security people living in your house.
Yes.
Like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Did you see, what is Kris Jenner's boyfriend? Corey?
Terry
sitting
Johnson's
courtside.
And then
Terry?
Yeah, Corey something. He was sitting courtside at
Feldman.
Wolves Lakers.
She's dating Corey Feldman?
Why not?
Game 5, maybe?
I think she's dating Corey Horry.
Corey Horry is a garbage pail kid.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Oh, they were the best.
Oh, the best.
Hey, speaking of names, can we do Vikings news? This is so cool. This is I love this, and this. I hope we haven't talked about this.
Time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Radco.
Your truck accessories.
So I'm on Vikings.com, right, and I'm like, all right, they got some stuff because rookie mini camp's right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, what is it? They arrive the 8th, and it starts on the 9th, right? So that's Friday. Rookie mini camp starts on the 9th.
Let's go.
But then there's a little article about Andrew Van Ginkel signing an extension with the Vikings, 1 year, $23 million. Most of it's guaranteed, right? 22 and change. Mm-hmm. Then they posted a tweet of his wife with their son talking about how excited they were about the 1 year extension and being a part of the Vikings family, right? Do you know what Andrew Van Ginkel's kid's name is?
I do not.
This is freaking genius.
What is it?
His son's name is Ripken.
Are you kidding me?
Rip Van Ginkel.
His name is
Rip Van Ginkel is such
what
a badass.
Yeah, that's great.
Rip Van Ginkel.
God.
That's great.
He's set for life already.
Yeah.
He's already a badass.
Maybe they call him Ripken, but there's no doubt his nickname is Rip.
Yeah, of course.
Rip Van Ginkel.
Yeah, man, that's the best he's seen.
That is the coolest. Oh, God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he ends up looking just like his dad and just is a high school badass. Nobody's going to mess with Rip Van Ginkel.
That's sweet.
So cool.
Do they call him Rip or do they call him Real?
Tommy Olsen probably does.
Yeah. That's a good question. Man, that's a
Ripken Van Ginkel.
That is a great name.
A+.
Yeah.
A+.
That does sound like a name you had to talk your wife into.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Let's call him Rip Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Yes, we are.
We are.
The name Rip, though, gained a lot of popularity when Yellowstone made a big splash.
Rip is a cool name.
It's a great name. I had a boss in Virginia Beach whose name was Rip, and he was a badass.
You have to be.
You got to.
I don't think up until Rip from Yellowstone, though. I guess Rip Torn. I just discredited my own take. I was going to say Rip Van Winkle is the only Rip I could have thought of, but Rip Torn.
Yeah,
but that's got to be a stage name anyway.
For sure, and it's trying to be goofy, not tough. And
Rip is a nickname for people named Richard.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How many variations do we need out of Richard?
Well, Dick or Rip.
Yeah.
And
what about both?
All of the dicks should be Rip.
Wow.
They should be requesting a change.
How about the fact that Richard Belding from Saved by the Bell, right? Richard Belding. So his could have been Dick Belding, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what his brother's name was?
Oh, man, I just saw this the other day.
How in the world did you just see this?
It was something on Instagram about how he was like the long-haired surfer guy, right?
Yeah, he was a substitute teacher.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Outward.
Shocking.
He wanted to take him on like a camping trip, the senior class or junior class on a camping trip.
That's a bad idea.
Anyway, Richard Belding's brother was named...
I can't think of it.
Was Rod Belding.
Oh, brilliant.
So the brothers' names were Dick and Rod.
Brilliant.
Who produces these kids' show, right? Obviously, we've had all these Nickelodeon scandals, Disney Channel scandals.
Yeah.
Who's sitting around going, what is it? What this show's for what? It's for like preteens and early teens. Let's do a Dick and Rod joke.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't be within 100 yards of a school.
Nope.
Let alone Bayside. Yeah. Get out of here.
Man.
I'm going to make his brother's name Rod. We'll laugh about it for the next 30 years.
Great show.
Peach Pit.
That was 90210, but whatever.
Whatever.
It was
That's
the max.
Gross too.
Yeah, Peach Pit for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so there was Vikings news. Rip Van Ginkel.
There you go. I love it. Great name. Great kid. Good places. Cool places.
Yep. Pretty badass.
Let's go.
Yeah, rookie minicamp on Friday.
Hey, you want to hear something I learned?
Sure.
You remember Great Places, Great Faces, South Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
That was Matt Kirkwald that sang that.
Really?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, the guitar
No,
player.
it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Come on.
It really was. He just told me this.
Does he get residuals?
I doubt it.
Is that a one-time fee?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
like
man.
I'm the voice of Coburns. I just got paid one time for it.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Max sings Cars for Kids.
Yes,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
That can't be you.
He doesn't remember the number.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I really don't remember the number. I was drunk when I recorded it.
Hey, Sauce.
Yes.
You sing jingles too, right?
Sure.
What are you famous for singing?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Man, there's such a long list of them.
Such as?
I'd have to think to get the best one.
Start.
Well, I did the one. I mean, the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, the one that immediately comes to mind is?
There's so many, though.
But the one that immediately comes to mind is?
Well, I once did the...
My God. You can't think of one?
The double mint. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Double mint.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love how hard you hit the ending. Doublemint.
Yeah, thank you. Got to hit the post.
The Doublemint twins. You know the two girls, the blonde girls that were the Doublemint twins?
Sure.
No, Hawk forgot about
Chris
them.
remembers.
They have a famous sister. Do you know who their sister was? They're all alive.
Hawk?
Actress.
Bernie
An actress.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Sigourney Weaver.
Not Sigourney.
Yeah, you do say that very strangely.
Yeah, that was weird.
So is this like late 80s, early 90s? Doublemint
what?
twins? Like what?
Queen Latifah.
George Clooney.
The original, the blonde with the sort of green. They kind of look like Christy Brinkley, both of them. I'm going to show you a picture on my laptop.
And they have
Those original Doublemint twins.
Okay. So does the face kind of give it away?
No, not
at all.
But their sister was a very prominent actress in the, I'm going to say 80s, 90s. She was part of a sitcom that you all watched. She played the mom. Her husband was very inappropriate.
Lisa Kudrow.
Is she the
Fran Drescher.
Oh, Katie
Lisa
Segal?
Kudrow was not a mom.
Katie Segal?
Yes, bingo.
Oh, wow.
Katie Segal's sisters, twin sisters, were the Doublemint twins.
No kidding.
Wow.
And I just Googled it to confirm that. I knew I had read that they had a famous sister, and I couldn't remember.
Peg Bundy herself?
Correct.
Peg Bundy, okay.
Who is she? Yeah. She's not naturally a redhead, is she?
Haven't checked.
Oh my!
Ask Chris.
I do not believe. I've spent a significant amount of time with her, and I don't know if she is. I know when we spent time together, she was a brunette.
Yeah.
Yeah, true story.
Weird. Her sisters are very blonde, or at least they were when they were the Doublemint twins.
Yeah, right. She was a backup singer for Frank Sinatra. Katie
Segal?
Yeah, great singer.
Man.
Yeah. She once she was very sweet to me. I've told the story in the air before, but Marns, I don't think you've heard it. You want to hear a fun story?
Yeah, please.
So we were out on the road doing the Sons of Anarchy tour, and I was the MC. And one day at the very last stop of the tour, we were at a place called Mill City Nights. You remember that place?
Of course, yeah. I saw 311 there once.
Great bar. And we were upstairs. It was the last night of the tour, so we were all celebrating and everything. And she walked by me, and I had a full bottle of what's the cinnamon whiskey? Fireball. I had a fifth of Fireball sitting in my lap. And about 20 minutes later, she came back by, and it was like there was only a quarter of it left. It was like mostly gone. What she didn't know is that all my friends coming by, we were all sharing it. Everybody was drinking, right? Everybody on the tour. She thought I'd sat there and drank almost an entire fifth of Fireball. And it was the sweetest thing because she came out of her dressing room and sat down beside me and goes, "You don't need this to be happy." And she put her hand on my leg. She thought that I had a real problem. It was the sweetest moment. And I didn't even correct her because I was like, she's being very sweet to me right now.
Yeah. And her hand is on my
Yeah, and I found out that she's like she's recovering and has been in the program for a very long time. And it was a very sweet moment for me. But I didn't correct her.
I love that you didn't correct her.
I didn't know if I should.
I only had like one shot. These are my drunk alcoholic buddies. You should be putting your hand on telling them that this isn't the way to find happiness. Yeah. No, that's probably the right play. Just let her think that she's helping you, because she probably did.
And it was very sweet that she cared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was so cool. You guys remember that show? Do you remember Sands of Anarchy?
Yeah.
Do you remember Juice and Bobby? Anyway, it was the three of us. Juice was the guy with the mohawk, and Bobby was the big guy with the long hair. Anyway, it was the three of us. It was cool. It was a fun tour.
You like the juice?
You want more is such a great bit.
I get you more juice.
I did not know the Doublemint twins thing, though.
I didn't either.
I didn't know you sang the slogan. How does it go again?
Double your pleasure, double your fun. Doublemint. You know what other slogan I'd be really good at?
Voice back in
I
the
know
day.
none of you care. But you know, like Busch Beer, I think I'd be really good at being the guy that goes, Busch.
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Actually, that was really good.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I practice that a lot because I would be really good at just going, Busch.
That's weird because Rosie walks around here and practices that all the time, too. So
I practice
you have
at my own
competition.
Yeah, only proceeds it with show me your...
Rosie! And then he just points at everybody sees. He's just...
Oh, my God! He's like Oprah.
And then he'll go, I don't work here. You can't fire
It's
me.
It's about me, so you can't fire me.
You will never get this.
Marney.
All because he sang the Doublemint theme song. All right, Fan 5 in a second. Headlines later. Power Trip Morning Show with Marney Gellner on the Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.